and welcome back to another Friday special. And if you don't know already, this Friday special will be the last Friday special, at least for now anyway. We might bring the Friday special back later on, but for the next at least 2 months the Friday special is going away for a while. And what we was going to do for the Friday special is, as part of our logo and as part of what we created in the start, we was going to actually try and bake and recreate the portal cake. And then we realised the sun's out. It's roughly about 1,000 degrees, and we were not willing to stand in a kitchen and bake for a considerable amount of time in this ridiculous heat, because I'm losing my sanity just sat here. So I came up with a different idea, and some people are going to love me for it, a lot of people are going to hate me for it, but I don't particularly care. I'm going to get my thoughts out there anyway. But I'll just say to begin with, before I go into what it is that I'm doing, when it comes back with the Friday specials, or it may not even be on Friday, I may move it to a different day, but when we do come back with the specials, we'll be in the full swing of summer by then, so there'll be a hell of a lot more summer based stuff coming up. But before then, I think I'm going to be sat out in the garden with my feet up, getting a bit of a tan. I mean, I'm already starting to get a bit of a shoulder tan going on already. I've been out to B&Q and bought myself a pool, so you know, time to have a barbie, chill out in the garden with the pool, enjoy the rest of summer. But for now and for today, you see, we have coming up soon an election for British Prime Minister. Who are we going to have running the country? Everyone's big debate. Everyone's going, oh well, you can't vote Conservatives because of the NHS, blah 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 blah. Everyone else, oh, you can't vote Labour, but and everyone is up in arms and going mental about the election. So I want to talk about it for a minute. First of all, you've got Labour and Conservatives, these two parties that everybody is going absolutely mental about. Why? Because everyone's going, I hate Labour, but they're better than the Conservatives, so I'm going to vote Labour. And everyone else says, I hate the Conservatives, but they're better. You know, either way, everyone's saying that they hate both parties, but they've got to pick one of them. Why? The way I see it, one sec guys, that's my alarm to tell me to get out of bed, even though I'm already up, and I will try to disable that now. There we go. Sorry about that guys. So yeah, everyone's going mad about these two parties that they've got to pick one of. But why? There's another 20 parties out there. I mean, you could vote for the Green Party, you could vote for UKIP, you can vote for any of the other ones that are out there. Pick someone who actually means something to you. I mean, instead of just going, but it's got to be one of these two of wins, so I've got to pick one of them two. You don't, because if nobody votes for either of them because everybody hates them, somebody else will win. That's one point that I need to make. And another one is, I've got someone at work, and there's thousands of people like this, but I've got someone at work that goes, so who are you voting for? Oh, I don't know, I think I'm going to vote for whoever my husband's going to vote for. Why? Me and Jemma, we have two completely different thoughts on this. We've both kind of looked into it our own way, drawn our own thoughts on things, and we kind of agree on certain things, but there's also a lot of things we don't agree on, and we both go in different ways on it. We've both got our own separate thoughts, and I don't think it's fair for, let's say, I vote Conservative, Jemma votes Labour. That's two completely separate votes from this one household. We've both come up with different ideas, we've drawn our own conclusions on stuff, and we've voted for what we want. But then if you've got that other person out there that gets to put their vote in, and then their other half hasn't thought about what they want to do. Oh, I'll just vote for whatever they're voting for. That one person's then had 2 votes. Is that right? No. So I don't think, if you can't be bothered to look into it and draw your own conclusions, I don't think it is fair for you to have a vote and to put your vote in, because to me that's not right on the people who have thought about it and have looked into it and have put their own time into looking at who they actually want to run the country. Because, like I say, I think it's unfair that these people are out there like myself that's putting time into looking at who they want to run a country and the reasons why behind it, when other people are just going to go, yeah, I'm just going to tick a box. That doesn't work for me. And also, one other thing, guys, I know I'm rambling and I'm just kind of going with the flow today, but my camera is really bugging me right now. So there we go, that's that dealt with. So that's one other little bit of beef that I've got with all of this that I wanted to get out there as well. And now I'm going to look at these 2 major parties that everyone's talking about. I mean, you're looking at Labour, and now he wants to start negotiating about Brexit, and he wants to do stuff about the economy and education. He wants to sort out social security. He's got all these things that he wants to do, but he's not entirely said how he's going to do it. There's no real clear, strong plan from the Labour Party on exactly what it is that they want to do. They've not said that even if there is what they want to do, there is no clear plan of how they're going to do it. Because there's one thing that I can say about all of this is you can't create money. Money doesn't just appear randomly in front of you. You don't just have a golden tree that you pick all money off of. We have a set amount of money. This is it. And you can't just create money out of nowhere to fix all these problems with. That's the problem. You've got to take money from one thing and put it onto something else. And that's where this whole... everything's been going wrong for quite a few... I mean, I'm going to really annoy quite a lot of people, but in the past, what has Labour done for us? They have done absolutely nothing for us. They have ruined the country pretty much. And probably the best thing that they ever gave us was the NHS. But now we're at a point where we have left Europe, which there's a lot of people that aren't happy about that. A lot of people like myself that are happy about that. Because now we can build our own economy up, rather than just relying on other people, which... well, actually, I'll talk about that in a minute. But you've got the old Brexit thing, and then basically there's a lot of things that's happened recently. I mean, you've got America, which is a completely different thing and doesn't... well, I wouldn't say doesn't affect us, but everyone's going mental about Trump taking that one, and everyone's gone mental about Brexit. Now everyone's going absolutely crazy about this one. And the point is that everyone's got their own thoughts on it, everyone's got different ideas on it, and everyone seems to be getting so et up and annoyed about something that everyone has their own thoughts on. That happens. And basically with them saying that they're going to fix all these things with money, where's this money coming from that they're going to fix all these things from? Because they're also going to fix the NHS that we've had issues with for so long. And this is where one of my biggest problem comes in with this, because with the NHS has been in a dire strait for a long time, and I said basically even when Cameron took over that if we keep going down this path we're going to lose the NHS. And then the more that you look into it, I'm going to speak about it in a minute actually, because I want to talk about what the Conservatives want to do, because I will mention more on the NHS as I talk about the Conservatives, because everybody's saying if we vote Conservative we're going to lose the NHS. So let me just talk about what they want to do. What needs for a stronger economy. They want to put things in motion for Brexit and get everything that we need to do for that, because we need to build now our own community of what's coming in and what's going out basically. and we don't need to follow just Britain. We can trade with America. We can trade with all these other places, and we can build up a really big trade community out of Brexit, one that works for us as well. And going off of that, I think we should be able to build, without Brexit, we should be able to bring a lot of good money into this country just off of trading alone, let alone some of the other stuff that we can do. Enduring social divisions, alien society, fast changing technology. This is all stuff that they all mentioned. But what they're going for is they're wanting a firm, solid plan because like I said, the next 5 years are going to be the most challenging Britain's ever had, because we're out of the EU, and Brexit will define that. Without being in Europe, we're going to struggle until we get ourselves a solid set-up plan, a solid trading community. But once we have that set up, it will absolutely flourish, I think. I mean, it will be amazing once we've got it all set up. If we've got it set up right, with the right people giving a strong, solid plan on what they want, someone who says that plan, sticks to that plan, and actually goes for it. Now, don't get me wrong, Theresa May, I don't trust a single word that comes out of her mouth, and there's just something that I don't like about her. But then I'd say the same for Corbyn. I absolutely hate that guy's guts. But this is exactly what I'm saying. That he's not giving us a clear plan on how he wants to make all these things better, but he's not giving us a clear plan on where the money's coming from to fix all of these things. Whereas she's going to saying that we'll get everything sorted for Brexit, we'll get all these communities set up, we'll get all these trade deals set up, and that is the main focus, and then we can focus on fixing our own economy with the money that we've made off of that. And everyone's saying, yeah, but in doing that we're going to lose the NHS, everything else is going to go to pot. Now, here's where I'm going with that. Is losing the NHS really a bad thing? Because yes, with the NHS we have free healthcare. That's amazing. It's one of the best things that we've ever had. But look at it a different way. When my grandma was in hospital, she had a hip replacement basically, and she'd then need to press a button to go to a toilet and wait for someone to come, and I'd be stood there looking around going, they've just seen that red light go off, they're stood there looking at it whilst talking about what they're having for tea, who's going to make a cuppa, whatever else. I mean, I work in a job where our productivity is so high that we've got to work like absolute slaves 24/7 from the second we walk through that door to the second we leave that damn door. And it's a struggle, it is hard, but I do not see that from any of the workers that are in the NHS. I see them stood around doing absolutely fuck all most of the time whilst you're in these places. That really pisses me off, for the fact that it took me grandma maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, just for someone to come to her bed and walk her 2 minutes up the aisle so she can go for a fucking piss. And that's just it. Me other half has been waiting for appointments to get into the hospital. It has been 7 months that she's been waiting for, and she's only just had herself a fucking MRI scan. It is getting beyond ridiculous, because there are so many people that's going, oh well, there's waiting lists for this, that and the other, and everybody's stuck waiting on everything. But why is there so many people rushing in for this healthcare, rushing in for... Now, I think instead of the NHS being supported by all these other countries in Brexit, being supported by everything else that the NHS is supported by, 'cause it is supported by a hell of a lot, whether it's taxpayers' money or other countries or whatever else, it is supported by a lot. Now, I will say that, but if we was to get rid of the NHS and then was to bring in, say, a proper health insurance plan, then everybody pays into their insurance, same as car insurance is legal. If you've got to have car insurance, you may never crash your car in your entire life, but you've got to have it just in case, for safety reasons basically. to cover everybody in the case that something like that does happen. It should be, I think, the same thing should happen with healthcare. Now, you have to have yourself have healthcare. You've got to pay in for it. If you're not paid into the healthcare, there will be fines, big, massive fines, which that will sort one problem out. But then also, if you're paying into the insurance, then you get so much that your insurance will cover. Then after that, it'll come out of your own pocket. But the point is that your insurance will cover quite a bit of it. So if you're going in with small, minor issues that you're having, say you've broke your finger, oh, we'll strap that straight up for you. Here's your insurance. This will pay for that. Fair enough. That'll do it. Now, if you're saying, I need a heart transplant, that's going to cost a bit more. So your health insurance will pay for half of it, then you pay for the other half of it. I mean, to me, that is the best way to do it. All these small problems that people are just queuing up for at the NHS, I mean, scans, stuff like that, blood tests, they're all small things. Your insurance can cover all of that sort of stuff. It's easy. Small stuff like that can be covered for out of your own pocket and out of insurance, which I think should be legal to have. Now, if that's covered on that one, and then everyone pays in for their own other issues that they've got, then that'll fix the NHS problem. Now, the £350 billion that we've got for whatever it is for the NHS, I can't exactly remember how much it is that goes into the NHS, but all this money that it's claimed to go into the NHS, then we can put it into our economy. Well, then we can fix the economy, and then with Brexit, surely then we can get our own trade deals, bring more money into the country like that, bring our own trades in. Surely that is going to be the best thing for this country to do. And I kind of hope that's the way that the Conservatives are going to go down. I mean, I haven't actually decided myself on who I'm going to vote for, but to me that makes logical sense. And that's the problem right now, that people are seeing all this propaganda that people are saying, but they're not coming up with something logical as a way to fix it. And to me, that is the most logical way to fix all these problems that we've got in the economy and all these things that we're going to have over the next 5 years with us being out of Brexit. All these problems that we're going to have, that to me should fix it. But Corbyn doesn't want to do that. He wants to try and fix everything at once. And he can't do it without the money, without the income. There is no way for him to do that. So I can't see him having a good influence on this country. Labour broke the country in the first place. Do I want to risk that they're going to fix it? No, I'm not willing to risk that at all. If I were going to put my money on anyone out of the two parties, I'd put my money on Conservatives in the hope that we can break the NHS down and then rebuild everything off of the insurance and everything else, doing it that way. But like I've said, there are a ton of other parties. You could vote UKIP, you can vote for the Green Party, you can, what's the name of the party? Is it the Monster Raving Loony Party, something like that? Vote for them, hell. But look into it, have your own say, have your own original thoughts, guys. And this has been where I'm coming from with this week's Friday special and the last ever Friday special. Again, a lot of you won't agree with me, some of you will though, and I hope what I'm saying actually comes across to some people. Some people can actually realise what it is that I'm saying. So I will see you guys, well, I maybe won't see you guys next week here on Friday, because Jemma's taking over the Fridays, but I'll see you on the Thursdays, I'll see you Monday, Tuesday, and I might even see you at the weekend as well, some power rankings and some Sunday reviews. I'll see you guys later. Bye!